So our guest speaker today is Mr. Charles Rawls, Sr. He is the founder and operator of Rooted Love Farm, LLC. He's just 36 years old and loving father of twin toddler boys. Born and raised in Kalamazoo, Chaz served in the U.S. Navy from 2004 to 2006. He's worked at several manufacturing jobs during his adult life, helping him to acquire many different skills. The thought of farming was present before COVID-19, but not yet present as a reality. Established in 2020, Rooted Love Farm, LLC, aims to provide quality organic produce and high-quality loose-leaf tea to the community and surrounding areas. So now we will hear the message, A Breath of Air, by Mr. Charles Rawls. Chaz Rawls.
Great day to everyone. Again, I'm Chaz Rawls of Kalamazoo, Michigan, 36 years old, loving father of twin boys. I discovered I wanted to farm in roughly 2008. A little bit after I got out the military, I stayed in Minnesota for a while, and there's a lot of land up there. And so I would see all the land, and I felt at peace just seeing the land. And so I never knew what farming looked like, but that was like the beginning picture for me. Fast forward to 2018, 2019, I connected with a few gentlemen that connected me with KVCC and they had started a farming cohort class, which then I joined and was able to expedite some of my learning about farming. And so what I would like to do today is just read a short passage of something that I wrote, just kind of explaining how I got into this position from the perspective of my ancestors. And it's called A Breath of Air, farming. Being able to grow your own food is our human right, but less than 2% of farmers in America are African American, compared to 14% in the early 1900s. A metaphor for that shocking number is the George Floyd incident. George Floyd was accused of using counterfeit money and then treated unreasonable by the authorities due to race, culture, and environment. Mr. Floyd's days came to an end with him saying he couldn't breathe. How this plays into farming is there are obstacles placed in front of minorities due to their race, culture, and environment that makes it that much harder for minority farmers to breathe. These obstacles act as a knee on the neck of minority folks in America. Wealth is land, natural resources. Wealth is built from generation to generation, and each new generation is a brick. Being that my family is indigenous to this land, it is heartbreaking to know that you were ran off your land where you lived, worked, and thrived from. And this has made me a first-generation farmer, where I have to reconnect to the land. My maternal grandfather was only able to go to school to the 6th grade. Then he began to work the land, and sharecropping was the term that he used. How it worked is they were granted access to small plots of lands for portions of crop yield or rent. This method often left our family and other Black families in debt. Excuse me, let me get some water. In today's time, one moment. This method often left our families and other Black families in debt. My grandfather was granted a license when he was 16. He had to be endorsed by a white landowner just to get a license. In today's time, this is a travesty in itself because you should be able to take care of yourself and be responsible given that you're not free, given that you're free of disability to care for yourself. Upon receiving his license, my grandfather within weeks fled the South. Like other Blacks in America, moving north provided a space to pursue happiness and a just life. This act was a double-edged sword, given a path to freedom in a more liberal space in exchange for land access and ownership in a hostile environment, which turns me into the first-generation farmer sharecropper in the new century, very much in similar position as my ancestors because of no land ownership. I am a tenant. Racism today is within the system, the language and the codes of lawful and unlawful literature, upheld by the people. So the question I pose is, which is greater, the system or the people? And how this plays out today is not having land ownership affects your access to resources and what you're able to do on the land. This is a huge barrier considering what this applies to the land and is generational. Estates, lands, finances are inherited and can be used to leverage to create wealth with families. Being a first-generation farmer in the 21st century, I have begun the race while others have already begun with the baton pass to the second and third leg. One of the things I've learned from humanity is the power of spirit, focus, and attitude. With a strong spirit foundation, focus, and discipline, mountains can be moved. Perseverance and a spirit of service to humanity has allowed me to blossom within my farming journey. I've had assistance from brothers and sisters of all walks of life. To me, this is a living testament that harmony is possible and necessary for abundance. All we have to do is take a peek into nature to see diversity. There we see life in all stages, fruitful, for they have space to be, space to just be, space to breathe, space to be in cooperation. And although a tenant, farming makes me feel alive by connecting with the living soil to provide food for my family, community, and self. This is me breathing. End of my short passage. And so what I wanted to do is, I didn't want to focus on the wounds. I think we all know about the wounds. We're constantly reminded of the wounds every day, even myself, but being a spiritual being, I understand that spirit is energy. And if I spend my time and my energy focusing on problems, more problems arise. And so I'm taking this time to point out that brothers and sisters of other walks of life have showed up to help me and assist me. But the real problem that we have to tackle is within ourselves. We have to question ourselves. Do we want to make better decisions for the universe, the world at hand? And so I'm grateful that you guys opened up your church, your home to me. This once again is a living testament that we are on to greener pastures. And so all we have to do is look outside in nature, breathe, and be reminded that a diverse lifestyle is imperative and very much needed for us all to live abundantly. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.